My name is Martin Seidl, and who am I? I'm a veteran, I would say, of the audio industry. I started off as a musician, as many people in this industry did, and we started off making music, becoming a little bit more skilled in audio engineering, and later I even studied that at the University of Music in Vienna. As many of us, we could make our living, yes, I would say so, but really fame and fortune was far away, and so time brought me to the industry. At those days, it was in the 90s, I joined AKG, which was a famous microphone and headphone company here in Vienna, traditional, more than 70 years. And I worked my way up through the Harman Group. I was 8 years JBL in California, later back at AKG. But there came the time when the whole group was sold to Korea, as some of you might know. And the headquarters in Vienna was closed. So there was the idea born that we could keep that team together and to make something new, build on the experience, but go into a more modern approach to the traditional microphone and headphone business. And that was the birth of Austrian Audio 2016. I know that basically no one has really waited for another microphone and headphone manufacturer, but there are two reasons why I think it was really, really important to keep the tradition going. The first thing is the experience, right? You can have a nice or a great acoustician, you can have a great mechanical engineer, but this was a team that grew up over years and really grew together, and those ideas inspire each other. So that's really something you can't buy and you can't found. This is an asset that was there, and that of course is a reason to found a new company. Our mission, our approach to this whole is we want to break down a little bit the walls. You know, our industry has a lot of traditional, let's say, seasoned engineers, and it's sometimes hard to break into that group with new ideas. And our idea really is we don't have to reinvent the wheel, but we want to bring technologies together that really work with traditional acoustic and a traditional sound, but get into a more modern workflow where young people can experiment, can really add tools to creativity by having online tools, by having apps available, by having an analog microphone, but having it remote controlled digitally. So this is something that wasn't there. We haven't invented Bluetooth, we haven't invented traditional microphones, but we were the first to bring it together. So you don't have to invent new technologies all the time. That's our approach. You only have to facilitate an easy workflow and to bring ideas together that make life more creative and more easy for the people. Research and development are extremely important to keep upfront with all your technologies and to stay ahead of a bunch of other people in the market. But it always has to be a balance because we are a young company. We don't have that huge amount of, let's say, pocket money to play with. So the balance is very important that you spend a lot of money into research really, so really trying to find new ideas, groundbreaking technologies, or at least bring them together. On the other hand, it's development really is hard work, right? You have a target, you have an idea of what you want to achieve, and now our engineers need to make that happen. So this is really a handcraft, if you want to say so. And for us, it was important to again create tools that inspire you and inspire your creativity. And that always is our preliminary goal. We would not launch a new product or even develop it to the end if it doesn't have any particular advantage for the user. we took a year to only develop a capsule without a product to sell, because that's the heart and soul of a microphone. And that's what we did first. And then we developed our first large condenser microphones, the OC818. And for all those people who most of the time use it in car yet anyway, like an overhead pair of drum set mics, or if you use it as a stereo pair, we also launched a little brother. It's the OC818, so OC18, which basically is a single membran, so no selectable patterns, but the voicing sensitivity is exactly the same as the little bit more expensive OC818. So you could even mix those two and stereo match them. So the quality is not compromised at all. It's just a feature set, what you can do with it. And then we just launched our 2 headphones at NAMM in January. Which is an over-ear, the HiEX 55. And our focus there was, again, what's the heart and soul of a headphone? It's the driver. And we looked around if there are drivers on the market we could use to achieve the performance we'd like to, and we couldn't. So we, again, started to develop our own drivers, which has different than many other brands who advertise larger 50, 54 millimeter drivers. We launched a driver that is smaller but has a higher excursion. That's why it's called HiEX, for high excursion. And it's much faster and more precise in the low end, but due to the excursion moving the same amount of air as a large driver would, but it would be slower. Anything that becomes bigger gets slower in the end. So the HiEX 55 an over-ear and the HiEX 50 an on-ear version of the headphones. The good thing is, they are shielding extremely well, so they are very usable for front of house mixing situations, but also if you want to have a very comfortable long to wear headphone, you will love the HiEX range. And I should stop here, but as I'm a proud company leader, there's more to come pretty soon. We are going more into the live segment. There will be a range of vocal handheld and instrumental microphones, condensers and dynamics. And also in our other core competence, the headphone range, there is very, very exciting stuff coming up for musicians who want additional up-to-date feature set in a pair of headphones. But I can't tell you more at this point. Of course, it's always very, very joyful. It was over the last months, really, when we had some shootouts in the United States and in the UK in very, very large studios, like the Miloko Studios in London or Blackbird Studios in Nashville. And really, the engineer asked us if we want to be in that comparison, because we are, a microphone in the range of $1,000, and they brought in stuff $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $6,000, and he said it's an unfair comparison. I said go for it, and it was really, really interesting. In all of the shootouts, we came out level, right, and in some aspects even better than very expensive products. It's just great to feel that we have done a good piece of work, and when you get that confirmation, I think that's really best that can happen to us when we launch a new product.